Hey guys, welcome to Nax Finest TV, the biggest channel in Nakuru. Not just in Nakuru, worldwide. I go by the name Ronex Platinums. Today I have decided to bring you one of the best specialists in insurance. Let them introduce themselves. Bro, tell people who's your name, where you come from, together with your friend there.
Thank you. My name is Victor Bore, and I'm one of the insurance professionals in the insurance industry. I am stationed here in Nakuru. I also serve across the region. I think I've really gone around this region advising people and giving them confidence on insurance. And it's glad to be here. I want to say thank you for your host. Thank you for hosting us, and we will have a good time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Your
thank
friend?
you. My name is Nema Arono, equally a professional in insurance, with over 13 years of experience in both uh, life and general business. I have a region too. In this region, I'm domiciled in Nakuru. Thank you.
Okay, today we'll be talking to enlighten the people more about the insurance. Starting with one of the questions is the basic one, about motor insurance. We can start with Boris.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. For motor insurance, it is one of the basic insurance, and it is also one of the most complicated parts because so many people do not understand what it means to have insurance. In Kenya, I think that many people always assume that we need insurance only just to avoid the police or getting arrested by the police. But that is not the case. There is more into motor than just the police. One, when you take a motor, we group them into two. We have the comprehensive motor and we have the third party motor.
Yeah.
And then again, we can go further and group it into commercial also. We have the commercial vehicles and the private vehicles. But maybe because your question is about motor only, then I can speak about that. When you have your motor or you have your car and you need to insure, then you can either take a comprehensive insurance which covers the subject vehicle. It covers also the people outside your vehicle, which is the third parties on this case. So you need that motor insurance at all times to make sure that your vehicle is safe, because you've spent money to buy your vehicle, and when it gets an accident or it is damaged in one way or another, then you need to get reinstated back to your former position.
Okay. Nehemiah, is there something that you can add from comprehensive and third party?
Thank you once more. I think we just appreciate what Boris seems to be mentioning. It's not that broad per se, as he said. Yeah. The content in it, I agree with it.
Okay, but unaweza trying to say that this a normal mwananchi wanakimbiliaga the third party because it's not that expensive. But you can, and maybe this the comprehensive is meant for the rich people.
Actually, the element of risk is for everyone. So normally it's not for rich or poor. And the moment you acquire a vehicle, actually, it's an additional, it has, risk coming to you with them. And at that time, it's good as you acquire it, you as well incorporate the other cost, which is insurance later. Yeah, it really comes in handy. Some of the recent things that like even the skirmishes you are seeing in the country, when the agencies all of a sudden, had to fight for some rights. You saw there were buildings vandalized, there were vehicles lynched. So there are people who went into abject poverty based on that. Some were their business vehicles, etc. But if in this event they already insured their vehicles, basically you see they would have even cap that risk already. Then number two on the same, when we talk of ability to pay the premium vis-a-vis the other who does not have ability to pay premiums, there are still vehicles that can still help them pay premiums, like premium finance. The banks are doing them, still the insurance are doing them in partnership with the banks and the microfinances and even the SACCOs. So there is still always a way. It's always good to have an agent or an agency that really advises you more on all the options that helps you address still the gap that you feel that comes with the economy. Thank you.
Okay. both to you. To a question from there. Recently, I have visited one of the insurance. I can't mention the name, but I recovered that I noticed that they don't like insuring the Pro Box, the small car. I don't know what's the reason.
Perfect. What happens with the Probox is that most of the people are using it for PSV, which beats the logic. If you look at the Probox logbook, in many cases it is written private. The class is private. So when you have a Probox as classified as private on the logbook and you are using it for Matatu, when claims come, especially the third-party claims, which are very expensive as well, that is why most of the insurance are trying to avoid because it comes with a cost. So unless you declare that it shall be used as private only, so you need to declare that and even take it to a lawyer to sign,
Okay.
just to affirm that decision.
Okay. Another question I want to ask from there was Nehemiah, the benefit of a multi-year for a two-wheel insurance plan.
Come again?
Okay, I'm asking the benefit of a multi-year for a two-wheel insurance plan.
Bora kanamaliza.
Maybe you can come up again or better clarify
Yeah,
the
you
question.
might have.
The question is not coming out clearly.
Okay, I'm asking the question, the benefit of a multi-year for a two-wheeler. Asking, maybe it's a two-wheeler is that car that deal with see there is a four-wheel drive and a two-wheeler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So come up again.
Okay, I'm asking the benefit of a multi-year for a two-wheeler insurance plan.
I don't think it affects the insurance in any way, whether you have a two-wheeler or four-wheel. It doesn't change anything. What we look at in insurance, for example, comprehensive, we look at the value. That is what matters for us. And then we also look at the condition of that vehicle. And that one we can easily get it from the valuation. Because if your vehicle is not well taken care of, the value will drop. And we can insure that vehicle at a cost of 500 instead of 1 million because the vehicle is not in good condition. So it doesn't change anything, it doesn't affect the cost of premium, whether it is two-wheel or four-wheel. Doesn't affect anything.
Okay, Nehemiah, for instance, I'm owning a car,
Yeah.
and then I see, because see that if you insure that car for 1 year,
Yeah.
for example, I own that car, and then I see I need another car.
Yeah.
I go myself, I make someone stop that car, and then I come and claim for the car.
Yeah.
Can
Okay. Anyway, I think what you are trying to elaborate here is maybe some of the fraud related to insurance, and actually it happens, and sometimes even it happens still with the professional who are practicing insurance, because normally you find they know almost the loopholes that are in insurances. A good scenario actually, which can actually almost get out of insurance, is the case that is happening right now in the other side, whereby there was war, there were use of mobile phones that exploded, before then, someone talked about this, and sometimes we don't want to talk much about them because it opens minds to fraud. Yeah, so we keep them to professionals who really understand insurance and know ways of twisting them. So most of the time we don't talk about that because it is misused later by those who are fraudulent with that. The scenario is that of phones. A physics guy who knew how to twist frequencies worked on it and made sure those phones were exploding. A layman, or rather a very simple a student who is pursuing engineering in those realms, knew that in his syllabus, but he never knew that it can really work until it has been proven in the other side. So at the time we don't want to talk about them in a strong way.
at least someone has been related through the motor insurance.
Yes.
Coming to another insurance is a medical insurance. You can start with Bore.
Just before you close on the section for motor vehicles, I think it is also very important to know what are the requirements. Suppose you want to approach me now for insurance. What are the requirements that somebody is required to have before you take insurance? Another thing that I feel that maybe you didn't capture in your questions is the logbook. At times you have a vehicle but you don't own the logbook. What is the implication in case you have an accident or in case of a third-party claim? So maybe we could, if time allows, maybe you could allow me to look into that first. Can you?
Okay, maybe just make it simple.
All right, perfect. So for you to have an insurance for motor, you need to have your ID, and then you also need to have your care, and you also need to have your logbook. Outside that, you also need to have a make sure that valuation is done. In that, when you get an accident, and in one way or another, this vehicle is damaged beyond repair, we will do what we call a write-off. So for you to be paid then, we will need to refer back to the valuation that was done. From there, we will now determine how much we will pay you because the valuation had been done. Now, suppose in a scenario where the valuation had not been done, the insurance company can say we are applying the pre-accident value, which in many cases is lower than what you could have gotten if the valuation had been done. Number two, the logbook issue. Suppose you have your vehicle and you send it to me. I have not changed the logbook to my name. It gets a third party claim. It goes to court of law because third parties normally go through the court of law. When it comes back and the penalty is given, it will hit you because of the logbook and it will hit me because of the direct incident. So you need to be very keen on those ones. Make sure that the logbook is transferred to you the moment you buy the vehicle. Make sure that the valuation is done. They are very key and very important.
Okay.
So now, to the question of medical. Medical is wide as well. Though Rono was saying motor is not wide, for me I think it is very wide. Because we have the shovel drivens, we have the motor privates, we have the motor commercials, we have the carriage liabilities, and quite a lot of things around the motor insurance. Now, coming to medical as you were asking, medical is wide as well. But for medical, there are quite a number of things that are considered. One, you need to make sure to know that what is your age limit, because for insurance companies are very key about the age. Before they give you any medical, if you are 90 years, you may not get. I think most of them are doing 80, 76, somewhere there, but once you are in, the better for you.
Okay, there is an age, maybe you reach a ultimate age, you cannot be sure.
Yes, you are not eligible. The entry age is normally 18 years, and then they have a maximum.
And a good example is even an old car, it's riskier. You keep on stopping, adding water, it boils, it does what. So equally, normally, there is the lines of lifestyle diseases, what we call illnesses, they catch up with you around maybe 65 there. So you are more riskier. So, and furthermore, our lifespan, the last statistic I think we are almost at maybe 70 to 80 right now. So you can imagine you insuring you are 78 or maybe 75, and yet you are an insurance company that looks at risk. You already are risk from the word go. So at the time we do what we call, we load an extra premium. If Bore, who is at his early 40s, is paying, let's say, 70 Gs per annum, you might be paying maybe 100 Gs because there's an element of risk in you already. Yeah, you're saying something.
But according to me, I see if maybe you opt to insure the small generation, according to us, small generation, not yani hatugojeki sana compared to those the old age.
Yes.
So according to me, you're supposed to insure the old one. Yeah.
No, actually, just like a vehicle from the factory, there's always an error, or there's always a uniqueness with each and every vehicle make or the way it was made. Maybe there was a mistake somewhere. Equally, with human beings, you might find a young guy having diabetes, yet another old man who has nothing. So you cannot really segregate the young generation and say they are not vulnerable to diseases or something, not to be insured. But just consider that it's a risk and it's always unforeseen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Just in support of what he's saying, again, because you were asking about considering the old age and leaving the youth, insurance is about numbers because we all contribute to one basket. So that when one needs that support, we pull out of that basket and support the one that is in need. So the more we have the numbers, the better for us. So medical is there with the insurance and it is good. Again, the most basic one is the NHI. I always encourage people that even if you have the other medical, you need to have NHI. Because when you go to a medical facility and you have a medical insurance, it will override the NHI, yes. But for the bed charges, it will be paid by NHI. Again, there are loopholes in the NHI. There are cases where NHI are not able to pay for some conditions. But this medical insurance will now sort you on those areas. I know you've had in several locations, people are saying, I went to a medical facility, NHIF paid only 100, paid 50, paid 200. What
And
you
yet
get
at
was
the
1
month they
million.
deduct the money.
Or only
Yes.
paid
So when you have that medical, it is very important for you and for your family. And we are very open. We advise people that you can talk to me, you can talk to Rono, you can go to any insurance company, find out. Because they will consider the age, they will consider the family size, and they will consider also the limits. Somebody would walk in and say, I want a 10 million cover and 300,000 outpatient. I want a 1 million cover and 150 outpatient. I want inpatient only. So you see, those people will pay differently, but at the end of the day, they are all covered and they have that medical. So it is very key because in many cases, you have a car, you insure your vehicle, and you are leaving yourself. You've not insured yourself. If that you get an accident and you are injured, the vehicle will be repaired through comprehensive, while you cannot even pay for your medical. So it doesn't make sense.
Embarrassing.
The
Okay.
priority should be you through medical
Okay,
first.
maybe I was asking, what's the essence of deducting the monthly? And then, for example, you go to a hospital and then they only treat you and then they tell you for you to be given the drugs you're supposed to pay.
Uh, which product is that you're talking of medical state?
Yeah, then NHF.
No, actually, each product is structured in a very unique way. For instance, the board I just mentioned, for instance, ours right now, you find that at the time as you go to an inpatient facility, you find
Medical question. I was asking, how much will I pay if I see a doctor who isn't covered by the insurance?
maybe you see a doctor is not.
For example, me myself have been covered by the insurance, and then I go to a hospital.
Yeah.
I found the doctor who is treating me is
Yeah.
not him or her is not insured.
Yeah, not even the doctor being insured, but the doctor is not a service provider to that insurance cover. I mean that insurance company that gave you the cover, right? So in this event, normally the emergency is actually.
Okay,
like,
you mean even if maybe if I've been insured by J Insurance,
Yeah.
and then I go, I found that I see a doctor who is not a J Insurance lawyer.
Yes.
I cannot be treated.
No, you can be treated, but I want to create scenarios to you and educate the public at the same time on how to approach such things. For instance, there's a year my kids fell sick. We had gone to countryside to my parents. Then in that event, the hospitals there, they were not in the panel of the insurance company that was provided insurance to me. What I only did was to communicate to the insurance in advance that my child is being taken to a clinic or a facility that is not in their panel, so as to later on approve that claim or allow me spend and claim later, you see, especially if the amount is manageable, like 10K, 15, 5, you see. But in event of maybe millions, assume the fella has been admitted there. You know, they can do the basics, then now evacuate the fella to the facility that seems to be in my panel and still sorts the same issue that seems to be ailing me in that moment.
Okay, I understand you.
Yeah.
Okay, is there something you want to add on that?
Maybe, as Rono explained, maybe that would, whatever that you spend, they may refund you less by 20% for going outside the panel, but the refund will be made, and the medication you will be given. So you will get the medication, you will get the receipts.
How is that process for you to be refunded the money?
You will have to provide the receipts because of course you paid. So you will get the receipts and then you will get a refund. But in this case it will be less 20% before going outside the panel.
And in this event again, Boris seems to be addressing a situation where you never notify the insurance that you are visiting a facility that is not in their panel. But in the event of that at the time, when you notify them, actually you get the full reimbursement. You see? Yeah. So normally, what we can advise the public is that create scenarios in your life and how you should address this in event it happens. Ask yourself, what will I do? So normally, look for a contact for your insurance company, especially the medicals, exactly direct line that can serve you 24/7. So that in event of approvals, in event of claim filing, at a time you might even be in a facility that is in the panel, but they are awaiting approvals to treat you. You see? So in that event, assume they are using mails to someone who is not in the office or something. But you have a direct line to an extension that seems to have a number of guys in the same department. You find you're even facilitating the service provider to speed up the process of treating you by creating a solution to communicate. So it's good to, at a time, have your ways, and in this way I advise the public, have the contacts. Normally behind that card there are contacts, direct line to the insurer. Yes.
And those numbers are always on for 24 hours. So you can easily get support.
The emergency numbers. Yeah.
Okay, for instance, I've been paying my NHF good for that 365 days, and then have not gotten sick.
Yes.
You know, many people, they see their money they have not utilized their money good because they have not gotten sick. Okay.
Yeah. I think you're trying to say the insurance seems to be benefiting from that premium, right?
Yeah.
Remember, there is this principle of putting together into this basket. And the principle seems to be talking of an eventualities to either of us who did that. So our insurance is this basket, whereby we are doing 10 bob to achieve $1 million. And in the event of a claim of $1 million within us, it is paid. And at the same time, at the times, it does not really deplete what we earn because it's like we collected much. The way now the National Insurance Fund is trying to do. We are trying to have more Kenyans contributing to a fund. What is it, how much is it paid per month? Is it 500 from the previous one?
Yeah.
So in that event, we have a lot of 500 from different Kenyans. Then one single Kenya serves us to a tune of a cost of, let's say, 3 million. Then it is scattered. We have saved that person, we had only saved with the basket 500. So don't look at the element of my 500 has gone. Look at it, what if it had happened to me as an eventuality? Yeah, so that is the area of looking at an insurance before you consume. If you look at it from the other way around, you would consume it. Yes.
I get it. Maybe someone have been enlightened through that conversation.
Yes.
Okay, coming to this scenario.
Now, let me support what he's saying. We also have scenarios where you spend a lot in your medical, and then at the end of the period you are given what we call a premium loading. So apart from the normal premium that you paid, if you again overspend, the insurance will, to caution themselves, will add you something called what?
They load.
Yeah, the loading.
An
So
extra
they will
premium.
load an extra premium. So you will pay higher. While on the other hand, for the motor vehicles, I know somebody who has paid premiums for 15 years constantly, and recently he was given a discount for not claiming for a long time, 15 years, not claiming and paying premiums of almost 2 million per month, per year.
Okay.
So at times there are benefits on both sides.
Okay.
Number two, we also have something that is called a copay. Again, when you take a medical, at times somebody could say, now because I have a medical card, after for an headache, you want to go to a Gagan.
You abuse it.
Yeah, you want to abuse it. So we have what we call a copay, where you pay something before you are admitted in a facility or before even you do the consultation. So it is to caution the insurance so that you don't spend on that card unnecessarily.
Okay. And another question I was asking, maybe for example, I'm being paid a net salary of 30,000 and there is someone who's being paid 100K. 100K. Does it mean even that 100K will be deducted that 500 shillings?
No.
And this
I think you are trying to question the new medical of the COFTA. In that event, actually, the president, I think the other day, really specified that what will be happening. He was even trying to say, okay, even he went into an extent of talking of NSSF. It was like, I earn like 2 million. How comes I'm only paying 200 surely? When I retire, what will 200 sort me? My lifestyle is past 2 million actually.
Sure.
And normally on actually like pension, you need like 5 times you earn on earning as your pension. How do you achieve that by doing 200 per month? So yeah, then again, how do you burden this guy who is earning 30? You know.
Or maybe 12,000 or
Yes.
10,000.
Yes.
And
that's why they were coming
the
up.
same money there.
Yes, and that's why they were coming up with that rate. They were just saying like it's an ability. You have an ability of being this much, so let it be a percentage of what you earn, something like that.
Yeah, if you're earning more money, you should be deducted a lot of money compared to.
For NSSL, they did the introduction of Tier 1 and Tier 2, but for the lower earnings and the upper earnings. So it has upgraded that issue of 200. The same case to NHI. As we cross over to SHA, I think we will be, if you are earning more, you will be able to pay more compared to someone who is earning a small salary.
Okay.
So it will be a game changer.
Yes.
Okay, another thing that maybe we talk about NSSF. Who can talk about NSSF between you and you?
I think both of us, because it even goes to general knowledge. Yeah. What did you and us talk about in NSSL?
Okay, for example, why is it that ukifika miaka fulani, your money yenye umekuwa ukicut off, maybe you have been working for, maybe you have been, uliandikwa job ukiwa na miaka 25, and then you retire at 30. Yeah. And then you have been told, for you to get the money that you have been umekuwa ukicut off for that 5 years.
To retire. May I put it this way? There